Mr. Amechi, you are welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Antala. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Yes, the Global Action on Education, with the theme educational transformation or transformation of education. It is a global thing. This year's conference was held, or is right now taking place in Senegal, and all along their discussions since the inception of that discussion, since on the 22nd, has been the issue of education in third world nations like Nigeria, Senegal, and other sub-Saharan countries. Now, the participants have advocated for transformation of education. For us here in Nigeria, what are those areas that seemingly will be yearning for transformation? Because when you say transformation, it's a blanket term. What are those specific areas that needed transformation as far as the education industry is concerned in Nigeria?
Okay,
schools in third world nations. When you look at it, basically it has always been the colonial leftover. Nothing has changed, or little has changed since independence to now. Do you think this aspect too requires an overhaul?
It seriously requires an overhaul, and we cannot overemphasize that. We've been talking about it over and over again. But like I'm still struggling with infrastructure, we're still struggling free. If you don't put your child in school, we would arrest you. If my child goes to school and comes back, what does that child eat? The school feeding program we introduced that was supposed to help, we have all seen how it went. It became a political thing. It did not serve the purpose it was established for. So there's a whole lot we need to start doing. We need to start doing and not really take our eyes off the urban area, but let's believe that the urban does not represent the education sector, like we keep saying. These children who are in the rural area are going to attend the same university with those in the urban areas. They've not seen computer before.
The infrastructure, even in terms of enrollment as well.
You know, Dr. Antala, the sad thing is just what you've talked about now, about the policies, because what we have is somebody does 4 to 8 years tenure and he leaves. The next person takes over. And this person does not come out to tell you that this is what I met on ground, until maybe his judgments or his character towards the job is being called to question. Then the person will now start telling you, I inherited a very poor education system from my predecessor. Why did you not come out and tell the people that, look, okay, I have been given this job, this and this and this are what I met. This is how I'm planning to fix them. You know, so we already know that this is your roadmap.
You feel the government need to do to encourage the female child to enroll more in schools?
All right, thank you very much. If we look at the situation of Nigeria that has to do with the issue of enrollment of women in school or girl child, it is an ongoing process which, despite the low successes recorded, it is appreciable compared to other nations of the world, because we have Nigeria. I can't get the percentage for now, but in whatever field you look at, there are fewer women there, instead of us to have more, and sadly for us not to have any, but we are in the middle. At least we have women coming out now. And the level of parents allowing their girl child to go to school is commendable in some areas of the country in Nigeria, and I will say Niger State inclusive, because without even looking at the statistic per se, if you go out while school closes, you'll find out that there are more women coming, or more girls coming out from these schools. And in Niger State, we have several schools taking care of the issue of girls, and mobilization with girl child. Some areas, you find that that is the end of her educational journey.
Some may end at junior secondary school.
Some junior secondary school, those that are lucky. Some going to the secondary school level, some even excelling. Fewer number. What does it entail? Where are we getting it wrong? And how can we mitigate the effect of getting, of recording more number of girls out of school than what we have currently? First, the advocacy, just like he said, is not just policy statement coming from the government. We have several, not just in Nigeria, but we have even international campaigns trying to encourage more enrollment of girl child in education. But are we transforming the educational sector to suit girl child? There are challenges peculiar to the girl child in the educational sector. Let's look at hygiene base. Most of our schools, you find out they don't have conveniences, especially for the girl child. What happened to her? When she is on her period, what happened to her? There was an advocacy that was taken by Nigeria for Women, yeah, something like that, Women for Change. I have forgotten the name of the organization. They went to a particular secondary school in Niger State, in the state capital. Sadly, the girls in that school, they use pure water for hygienic purposes while they are on their period because of scarcity of water. We have been experiencing that. Before they go to school, they have to source for water. And if a girl is on her period, how can she survive in such an environment?
Where she has to spend about 8 hours.
Thank you. So they were using pure water, sourcing the pure water themselves, these girls from girls' only school, sourcing for water to take care of herself while she is on her period. Sadly, these are some of the things that discourages some girls on themselves, even despite having parental guidance to go to school. But the conveniences, most of them you find that in some of these schools, they don't have toilets and what have you.
Sometimes they choose to absent themselves from school.
Well, period, yes. And it's a negative effect on their educational journey. The day, 7 days or thereabout that a girl misses school, it has a negative effect on her.
Exactly. Okay, Mr. Amechi, she has just made a presentation on the situation of the girl child in schools. And she has also said there is an increase in enrollment of the girl child in school, but sustainability has always been the problem. Could this be a reflection in schools in rural areas too? Because our major concern now is the rural area, not the urban centers.
You know, the truth is, like what she said about girls using pure water, that's for the urban area. In the rural area, where would they find pure water? You know, so like I said, these problems are, if you want to maybe map them, you will find out that there are worst cases that you can even imagine. You know, and some of these issues, they really don't come to you until it happens to somebody close to you or to a family member. I'm going to digress a bit here, because the thematic focus for my organization is education, health, and livelihood. I have a friend that gave birth to a twin just last week, and they could not find the incubator for this twin because the ones in General Hospital were filled. This twin died. You know, these were children that God sent into the world, but just human errors made these children die. You know, my take for this thing is, what are we prioritizing? What are the things that are important to us? If things as little as incubator, let me use that word little, are not important to us, what else can be in health? You know, these are things that politicians could donate to hospitals rather than giving money to people on the streets. You know, so we begin to think about what do we really call priority, even in the education that we're talking about. We have early marriages, that are hindering the girl child education. I have some set of girls I enrolled in school, and I made the parents sign an undertaking for me that these children would complete at least basic education. I said, if they don't do, you refund me everything I spent on their uniform and everything. After some weeks, the father called me and said he doesn't want problem, that he wants to return the uniform. I said, why? He said his daughter is getting married, and I said he has to pay for them. So you see, now, how do I stop this man from marrying out his daughter?
Who are you?
Yeah, because that daughter going to marriage could be a meal ticket for his family.
Yes, exactly.
You understand? I have seen situations here in Niger State at Shiroro local government where a father is forcefully giving his daughter out, a daughter in JS2. He sits down and watch a man inside his room sexually harass his daughter just because they need that man's money for family upkeep. And that case went to the police station. They had to lock the girl up. because she tried to fight the man. You know, so Dr. Dantala, if we want to talk about this thing, it's a whole lot, because we're dealing with the urban area. We've not moved to and now the mining activities in the villages is even making both the girl child and they are not even after schools where those activities are happening. They would rather go do that. Can you blame them? Because they need that thing for the family to eat.
Exactly. So mining is also becoming a problem.
It's a very big challenge in all the communities where you have them. Talk to the school principals and all. You'd see what the damage those things are doing in those communities. Because there are no regulations for such things. We do not have any labor.
Child labor is involved.
Yeah, it is. It is. Nobody regulates anything. You even in Mina here, you have this babambola children who are supposed to be in school. You see them walking around picking things, and you know they're supposed to be in school, but nobody is regulating those things.
Okay, Mimuna, one of the contentious issues now is the one you just raised now, issue of child labor. We also have hawking among the female child.
Apart from
sometimes
that,
also hinders her attendance of school.
It's all part of the issue of assisting economically or financially to the family. Apart from hawking, we have those that are doing house helps also. It has been a long tradition, a sad one for that matter, motor parks and what have you. You find girls hawking pure water, some selling other small petty kola nuts and what have you. And they are exposed to sexual harassment. Apart from child labor, sexual harassment comes into being. I knew that there was a local government in Niger State where major activities of drivers and what have you, it exposes the girls in that area to sexual harassment and of course having some serious health issues. Apart from that, you can't blame the girl child. If you look at it from most communities, you find that priority given to the male child. The girl child, whenever she wakes up in the morning, she has to do some house chores, while the boys are out there getting ready to go to school. So you find that some of the girl child, they have to go and hawk before they can even go to schools. Early in the morning, before they can go to schools. So they are exhausted. If they go to school, what can they assimilate? It all takes the grace of God and those who have determination to be able to excel in such tight situation. Where are we getting it wrong? I knew that there was a program that has just been launched in the state, Agile. I don't know how far they have gone with it, but it's
not running yet.
It's okay. It's one thing that they are calling on parents. Okay, we're going to take care of you a bit financially and allow your parents to allow their girl child to continue with their education. Yes, we have our own issues. That means as this particular program is coming into Niger State, just launched recently, there is the need to get the major stakeholders involved with our own peculiarities. If you look at it in Niger State, we're talking about religion and tradition. So there is no way that such kind of program will come in because all these issues that we're contending with has to do with religion, tradition. So you have to bring these major stakeholders, not just the policymakers, no, these major stakeholders from the communities where these things are happening, involved.
Okay, thank you so much. We cannot overflow this issue because it is a very genuine issue. And no matter how much we keep talking about it, we cannot exhaustively discuss that. But again, it's also worth discussing. But I think one of the major concerns is also transformation in the curriculum content of schools. In today's world, every content is geared towards entrepreneurship. In our own situation, the content has largely remained what the colonial masters have left behind. Until today, little or nothing has changed. Mr. Mechi, in what aspect do you think we can have transformation in the curriculum content of education in our schools?
You know, for me, I feel we're getting this whole domesticating education thing wrong in most of the states. You know, you have somebody who is saying he has been able to translate physics textbook to Igbo. He has been able to translate physics textbook to Nupe to go and compete where? Those are not the those are not the things they mean when they say domesticate education. Domesticating education means you looking inward. This is a government that is coming now, and all their focus is on agriculture. That is domesticating education. For me, you know, we have school of agricultures that were close to dying. This is time to bring them up. This is time to show these kids that, look, and for me, these things need to start early. Most of these kids make career decisions early in life, and it could just be from something they see. You know, you have children who have seen somebody wearing corper's uniform, and she says, oh, I want to be like this. And that's her drive in life. She keeps pursuing it until she becomes a copper. If you show these children that, look, agriculture is very, very attractive, this and this are the opportunities you stand to get from it. Last time I was here, we talked about the training we did on emerging technology for children in the public schools. You know, you get to find out that most of these children do not even know of all these emerging technologies. They do not know of the AI. They do not know of the blockchain. You understand? These are things that they need to know about. And in all fairness, you know, last time we were criticizing the Ministry of Education about introducing skill acquisition into the already
over-bloated
system. You understand? If we want to do these things, we have to create the environment first. We have children studying under the tree. We have children, we have schools in Niger State that have 200 and something people with one teacher. Who is going to teach those school acquisition? That curriculum that you're thinking about tweaking, who is going to teach it? So let's start. For me, you know, this is a country where if somebody has a headache, you just cut off his head and you believe you've taken care of the headache. No. Let's begin to create these atmospheres for these things that we are thinking we want to do. You first have to, even God, while creating, he made water, made everything before man came. So that's what we need to do in Niger State. We need to first create these atmospheres for all these things so that when they come, there's already an environment for them to thrive. If you tweak this curriculum now, who would teach it? Already what we have, we don't have enough teachers for them. So this, for me, I don't think we're ripe for that discussion yet. For me, what we need to do now is let's get the system working as it is, then we think about what to add to it.
Okay.
If I may chip in there, when you talked about translating some of these books, but if you look at transformative education for all, among it for those targeted to understand in their mother tongue, I think Niger State has inculcated that also, for them to start teaching in the indigenous language in our basic schools. Because in countries where they have progressed educationally, you find out that they domesticated their educational system using their own local language, the language that these children can understand to pass. Yes, to pass this information.
I agree with what you said there, but my challenge with it is that there are some, okay, let me give an example. There was a time we wanted to adopt a program from Philippines. The Philippines, they have only one Ministry of Education for the whole country. Here we have federal, we have states. We even have local. You understand? Now let's talk about the languages in schools. In every school you go to in Mina, you would find more than 20 languages there. How do you domesticate language in that kind of school?
Language from that area.
You understand? No, I've had to attend a seminar where this was talked about. And honestly, even up to El-Rufai, because he was also in that program, the former governor of Kaduna State, we in Nigeria need to first of all understand what are these languages that we want to use. In Niger State, how many languages do we have? You understand? Are we going to translate this thing into all of those languages to make
languages.
That's what the major languages, Hausa, Nupe, Gwari, and yes, now you have a classroom where you have a Nupe, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa. They are all in that classroom, and you're teaching them with the mother tongue. What is that mother tongue for that classroom?
The language being used in that community.
Because not all the pupils could speak that language in the same fluency.
That is my challenge.
You are involved in education in the rural areas. There was somebody I was having a discussion with, and he was telling me that in some parts of Shiroro, they were using another language in that school to teach the pupils, because the pupils coming, patronizing that school, are coming from that particular minority language, and they were using the language to pass the message to the students.
I schooled in Shiroro. Primary, secondary, it was in Shiroro local government. And back then, we were used English was what was used to teach us. But now, if you go to those schools, they are using Hausa to teach. These are Gwari children.
Basically.
You understand? There are other tribes there. I was an Igbo while I was there. I'm still an Igbo today. I schooled in those communities. You understand? So for me, I am not against this thing, but let's first of all agree as a country. Generally, federally, we say it's Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. Yes. That are we going to domesticate it to those 3 languages? What is the plan? You know, because we really can't get the communities in Shiroro where you're talking about. I am telling you, if you go there, you would still find children of other tribes there. Yes. And while we were in school, we did languages. You had the option of selecting which of the languages you wanted to do. I was Igbo, I did Hausa in school because that was the easiest one for me. But that does not take away the fact that you were being taught in English. But you had the choice of doing Hausa, Igbo, or Yoruba while you were in school then. So for me, I'm not against this thing, but what I'm saying is, have we decided yet what are the major languages in Niger? Are we saying that the whole children that are in schooling in Niger State have to adapt to these languages?
Exactly. These are contentious issues, and we just hope that things will get better. Anyway, it has been the Global Week on Education, and the discussion is ongoing now in faraway Senegal. It's a week that is celebrated between the 22nd of April and 26th of every year to look at education, its transformation, as well as those areas that needed attention. And of course, this year's theme is transformation in education. You can join us on this discussion through the number 09038 808883. You can equally visit our Facebook page on Prestigefm91.7mx to send in your text message. We have the first caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Dr. Bantala.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Okiki and Hajja Amina.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yes, happy, is it Education Day? How would I call it?
Global Week for Education.
Okay, transformation in education. My first question is that, are we able to get this education right, especially in Niger State, as a case study? If no, I think as the stakeholders, the educationists, not the office educationists, but the main educationists who studies education at the field, should come to a round table and see where we are going to resolve and have good education in Niger State. Mr. Bantala, in a situation where you see our children going to school around 8, 9, still roaming on the streets, I think that's not the kind of education we got when we are in schools. A situation where you see the textbooks or our educational materials are not in uniform again, the private ones are different from the public ones, I think we need to get it right. The situation where you see the elites, the children of the elites, are having a very good education than the people of the lower class, I think if we didn't address these problems, we are not going to get it right. But we pray one day we are going to get it right in Nigeria. God bless Nigeria State.
Amen. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. And of course, you can equally send in your text messages. And of course, when they come in, we get to read them. And okay, we have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Dr. Bantala, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Mr. Okeke, right, if I'm not mistaken. Good morning.
You're not. Good morning.
My name is Ambassador Jebu the Challenger. I'm calling you from Tudunfula, Mississippi.
Okay, go ahead.
You see, Dr. Bantala, Mr. Okeke, the way our educational sector, the way we are running it, if we look at it properly, is a very sympathetic issue and it's also worrisome. What baffles me with our government public school is this. If you take a look at it now, there is no what we call thorough discipline. Like during our own time when I was growing up as a child here in Mina. You see a child will go to school at any time he feels like 9, 10. And before you know, during break, they are all over the street, roaming about. And it's not the best. You see, these schools are not fenced. And there is no thorough discipline like it is before. If you take a look at it now, private school has taken over everything now. If you take a look at it properly, and it's not everybody that will afford to go to private school. If you take a look at it now, with the higher standard of living we are having. So please, if right into this. You understand? He is my governor. So please, me, I'm appealing to him. He should look into this issue and rectify it.
Okay, thank you so much, Gebu the Challenger. We have a message here from Jafar Ibrahim Bendiga. He's saying, good morning, this is a great move. Education is worth celebrating in all ramifications, but we are lacking a lot in educational system and our schools, mostly basic education. The speakers have spoken very well. May Allah see us through all the time. Well done, Mr. Okeke. I greet you all specially. Thank you so much, Jafar Ibrahim Bendiga. You know, there are those category of students that we call them 9/11.
Yes, but sorry, Dr. Antala, let me not cut you off. I want to address something Gebu said about school and discipline. While we were in school, parenting was a community thing. Exactly. If a father sees you outside the school at any time, he picks you up, whether you're his child or not, he picks you up and takes you back into the school and reports you to the teacher that you were seen roaming the streets. So, you know, for me, if we keep talking, there are things you can do within your own community. The government set up an SBMC, a school-based management system. These are supposed to be the people who would manage this. These people are from that community. They did not go outside to bring them people. They selected them from that community. These are people who have the right to question the teachers, question the school, question the authorities. That's why the government put them there. But do these people know that? Let him go to his community. Sure yes, go to those schools, hold people accountable. You have social media. It's everybody. We all have to be involved.
Exactly. Okay, we have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Antala. My name is Abdullah Ibaballe, calling from headquarters.
Okay, sir, go ahead.
Dr. Antala, from beginning of the life of a girl child is a challenge. Yes, we are blessed. Anybody that is having a girl child is a blessing to him. But nursing of a girl child, that is where they are having a very serious challenge from the beginning. So her education, if parents are not serious in terms of giving education to their children, that is where we feel the education of a female child. One, you see, somebody mentioned that he